Argentina's new right-wing libertarian president, Javier Milei, describes himself as a fanatic of Israel. He sees the country as Argentina's main ally and has announced a visit to Tel Aviv in February. Milei plans to move Argentina's embassy to Jerusalem. He is following the example of former US President Donald Trump. In 2017, the US became the first and so far only country to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
I kept my promise, recognized Israel's eternal capital, and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. Nobody thought that was possible, right?
In Brazil, former far-right President Jair Bolsonaro is a passionate supporter of the Zionist state of Israel. He regularly raised the Israeli flag during his public appearances. Bolsonaro enjoyed strong support from Brazil's influential and fervently Zionist evangelical sector. In 2019, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu became the first Israeli leader to visit Brazil. Commitment to Zionism and support for Israel are central ideological elements of Latin America's far right. Its close ties with Israel date back to the late 1970s and 1980s. During this period, Israel forged political alliances with right-wing military regimes and paramilitary movements in several Latin American countries, particularly Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, Argentina, and Colombia. The alliance between Latin America's far right and Israel was marked by Cold War anti-communism and counter-insurgency warfare. In Nicaragua, Israel maintained a close relationship with the Somoza dynasty for decades. After the Sandinista revolution in 1979, it supported the counter-revolutionary Nicaraguan Contras and the military-dominated regime in neighboring Honduras. During the Contra War, the Israeli government worked closely with Argentinian military officers to train anti-communist death squads. Israel supplied Argentina's anti-Semitic military regime, which disappeared some 30,000 citizens in the 1970s and 1980s, with sophisticated weapons and technology. This particular chapter in Argentina's history is crucial to understanding Milei's fanaticism for Israel. The deepest relationship between Israel and Latin America's far right was forged in Colombia. In the 1980s, Colombian right-wing paramilitary leaders such as Carlos Castaño received military and counter-insurgency training in Israel. At the same time, the Israeli security firm Spearhead, founded by retired IDF Colonel Yair Klein, began training paramilitary groups in Colombia. At the state level, in the post-9/11 context of counterterrorism, Israel became Colombia's second most important supplier of weapons and logistical technology after the US. In 2010, the Colombian government purchased Israeli drones that had previously been tested in Gaza during Operation Cast Lead. Since then, however, the tide has turned for Israel in the hemisphere. Over the past 2 decades, all Latin American countries, except Mexico and Panama, have officially recognized Palestine as a state within the 1967 borders. In response to Israel's ongoing bombardment of Palestinian civilians in Gaza, several Latin American countries have scaled back diplomatic relations in recent weeks. Bolivia cut all ties with Israel. Colombia and Chile recalled their ambassadors. Colombia's leftist president Gustavo Petro has called Israel's mass killing of civilians genocide. Brazil's president Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has made similar comments, calling on Israel to end its bombardment of Gaza. Chile's leftist president Gabriel Boric also condemned the Israeli attacks. All 3 countries, along with Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, are currently supporting South Africa's lawsuit of Israel for its actions in Gaza at the International Court of Justice. And there is more to come. Chile has announced that it will take Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to the International Criminal Court for war crimes committed in the occupied territories. Chile has the largest Palestinian population outside the Middle East. In light of these developments, Milei's fanaticism for Israel and Zionism comes at a time when the Netanyahu government is increasingly in need of international friends.